Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial on ISTQB Advanced Level Test Management Certification. We are in Chapter 1 talking about managing the test activities, and as a part of today's tutorial we shall be moving on to the next segment, that is 1.5, improving the test process, and picking up the very first subtopic here, that is 1.5.1, that is the test process improvement or the test improvement process, which is with Ideal, and try understanding what it basically takes to improve an existing test process to something really incredible. To begin with, let's get started with something as a context of what is process improvement all about. And then we can talk about what this ideal model is referring to and how does this work within an organization. So when it comes to process improvement, all we are trying to talk about is how can we improvise the existing test process within an organization. Indeed, initially the journey starts with setting up something as a process, and over a period of time we do realize that this process is not something which is doing the best. And certainly, as and when the organization realizes it, they are supposed to analyze their existing process and find out those gaps and areas for improvement and look forward to see what best they can offer in order to make this better and better over a period of time. And that is where it becomes very crucial for an organization to understand that what are those steps which we can really follow in order to make the process better. And that's where this particular chapter or this particular segment would talk about that what an organization can really take care of, or other way around, what a test manager can consider when it comes to improving their existing process. Remember one thing, no matter what your process looks like today, but at some point of time, we do understand there are some weaknesses and we should do something about it. So the very first segment is talking about what is the ideal model and how does it apply to the organizations in terms of test process improvement. To begin with, of course, we have a quick introduction to what is ideal here. That is, once it has been agreed upon that the test process should be improved, the process improvement implementation activities to be adopted for this activity can be defined as an ideal model, which is based on similar ideas as well as known as PDCA, where PDCA basically stands for Plan, Do, Check, Act. Now, ideal is basically an acronym, and that stands for initiating, diagnosing, establishing, acting, and certainly learning. And each one of these have something specific to talk about when it comes to overall improvising process. So let's get into a deeper dive and have a better understanding of what it would be all about. Further to add, when it comes to ideal, although ideal was originally defined to support improvement activities at an organization level, it can also be applied at a project or an agile software development team level. Indeed, most of the models are generally from the improvement point of view is at the organization level. We generally do not look forward to work on the project level. However, for the project, we may have justifications to be provided. Currently, ideal is also not being evidented with respect to that, like whether it can be applied for the project or not. So currently ideal is still at the organization level, or if you want, you can do it for agile specific practices. But for the project, we yet to have some evidences that how fruitful it can be. But if you compare this with this automotive standards or automotive improvement models like ASPICE, we certainly have done this for the project level as well. So depending on your project characteristics, you can start approaching the improvement process and look forward to get accredited with the different levels of the ASPICE. But when it comes to generic ideal model, this is more of like internal standards and can help organizations to improve within themselves by adopting to improvements and emphasizing on betterment of the existing process. So indeed, this can be applied to the agile software development level. But when it comes to our project context, the objectives of the activities are yet to be achieved. The main difference is probably the initiating phase, which is much smaller at a project or team level than the organization level. Diagnosing through the retrospectives and establishing a plan would not most likely be much smaller than for an organization level. Acting and learning will also be relevant at a project or team level. So as you can see that there are different activities like the entire ideal. When we talk about initiating, we basically look forward to initialize the process of improvement. Then we diagnose the weaker areas. Then we look forward to understand that how exactly acting and the learning can improve us over a period of time. So more of like in simple ways, ideal model basically helps you to deep dive into those key areas and critical areas which can be seen as a weak point, and then we look forward to establish a plan, apply it, and then from those applications we see that whether this was enough, effective, or shall we do something different in order to make it more better. So let's deep dive into the ideal and try understanding more at what these 5 different steps are corresponding to. So let's move on to the next part here. So deep diving into ideal. The very first phase here is initiating the improvement. So indeed, initiating the improvement is very straightforward process. At the start of the improvement process, the objectives and scope of the process improvement are agreed upon by the stakeholder. So basically, at the beginning of the life cycle or beginning of the ideal model, we look forward to gather with the stakeholder, agree to them that we are looking forward to implement some improvement actions, and are you in line with that? Because these changes might be seen as a side effect on many other stakeholders as well. Also, we try to understand that what kind of areas we are looking forward to improve, and that is where initiating the ideal model would be more about gathering those key points which you would like to improve. It's not possible that you can improve the whole process at a time. So you would target those particular areas which you think can be picked up as an initial option to start working on. So the first phase is more of like picking up those areas which you want to work upon at this point of time. The next part is, of course, diagnosing the current situation. So the current test process is assessed to identify possible improvements. The assessment is typically made against a standard framework in case of model-based test process improvement, and that we will be discussing in the next slide or next topic, or can be based on an analysis of specific matrices in case of analytical based test approach. So we'll also be having this as coming up as a subtopic, and we shall be looking forward to that, how exactly the model based improvement and analytical based improvements can help us further. Also, to add here, the next phase is, of course, establishing. So once we have diagnosed that what are the possible identification or possible improvement options, we look forward to establish a test process improvement plan, which is more of a like laying out a plan that how exactly we can look forward to do better. What is the next option you're trying to implement? What is those activities which you desire to update or move to as an improvement to the existing practices? So it says a test process improvement plan can be a formal document that lists all the detailed actions that must be performed to achieve improvements. Depending on the context, the plan can be highly informal and very lightweight. The list of possible process improvements should be prioritized as well. The prioritization can be based on return on investment, risk, alignment with the project or team strategies, and or measurable quantitative or qualitative benefits that are to be accomplished. Indeed, no matter how you land up creating your plan and prioritizing your work, it is very much important to define what would you be working on first. So prioritization here means that as you have defined several goals to work on with respect to improvement, it's not necessary that you will just work in any order. You will define some prioritization that what would you like to take up first, and then second, then third. Because these prioritization will basically showcase that how the benefits can be achieved and the impact can be seen on the rest of the activities. So there would be several factors which would be contributing to the overall process improvement. And thus those factors can be taken into account to define the prioritization of our improvement actions. To continue further, of course, the next part is to talk about the fourth phase, and that is acting to implement. A plan remains a plan until unless implemented well. So of course, we in the third phase have already defined the plan. Now it's time for us to define or implement it. The test process improvement, the test process improvement plan for the delivery of the improvement is implemented. This typically includes training and piloting of the changed process and their full deployment in the project or team. So indeed, at this point of time, it is very important that we are rolling out those amendments, those rectifications, those suggestions which you have planned for it. And as you basically roll this out, you would see that whether things are being executed as planned, and at the same time collecting matrices and data to see how effective it was. Because over a period of time, you would like to also judge whether your suggestion, whether your plan of action was efficient in terms of improvement or not. Sometimes it may be possible that when you define certain action items to improve things, they might not fit your practices, or they might not really do the desirable changes in your process as well. So we keep collecting matrices as data to analyze it, that how effective our improvement plan was, or whether something else has to be done, or this is something good for us to practice hereafter. Finally, once you have acted upon your plan, we have the last stage, that is learning from improvement program. Having fully deployed the process improvements, it is essential to verify which benefit, either planned or unexpected, were received. Having learned what worked and did not work, we must act upon the information, and only therefore thereafter the next improvement cycle can start. So it's more of like having a retrospective phase where we try to gather information from the improvement cycle, and then what exactly was the benefit achieved. If you see things are working well, then you may look forward to add more value to it. But if you see, no, this is not what it worked, so I would look forward to have a revision to my plan of action and then hit it again. Because there's no point performing an activity again and again which probably does not result into benefits. So learning from your act would help you to better define your goals, better define your aim, or certainly better define your prioritization to perform the next set of improvement actions. So put together, that's all what we had from the ideal model, and I hope I'm clear with that. So that's all from this particular tutorial, team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.